Last week I met with the chief executive of a public company, and he talked about money, returns, and investments. But he said something I had never heard from someone like him before, and I have been unable to stop thinking ever since. His name is Kyle Brown, who runs Trinity Capital, an investment firm, and his career is based on the question of where you put your money to get the best return. But when it comes to investment money, he did not mention markets or statistics. It is about other returns, those that never appear on a spreadsheet. So if you retire less than 10 years, or if you do, his next move could change how you view every financial decision from now on. If I hadn't met you, I'd be Dave Zell, and for the last 17 years we've been helping people build the ideal retirement in streamline finance. So if you are retiring, be sure to subscribe, because the channel is tailored for you. Kyle told us that he had decided to spend much more on personal matters than he had originally budgeted, not on calculators or charts. He used the word oodles, meaning joy, memory, people involved, meaning sitting behind every dollar. It is a joke, of course, but it is a person who has spent decades making risky financial decisions for public companies, which gives it weight. Because if someone is operating at this level and telling us there is a return on money that few people plan, the rest of us should probably start paying attention. For many retirees, the missing column may be the most expensive blind spot they hold. The missing column measures whether your money actually buys you a better life. The 17 years of doing this work showed me something quite consistent. Most retirement plans are very thorough in number, covering portfolio returns, withdrawal rates, tax strategies, Social Security timing, all of which are built with real accuracy, but it rarely includes a single line item. During the planning meeting, no one sat down and asked if the entire building would satisfy them. Kyle goes deeper than spreadsheets. He came up with an old fable about a rich man who spent his life building bigger barns to store more and accumulate more, only to be called a fool. Kyle's takeout is straightforward. The rewards of storage and hoarding are diminishing. Life is short, love God, serve others, enjoy the journey. It is a personal belief that you might build in your own way. But for most people, the real blow is the same, especially as retirement approaches. The question shifts from whether you have enough wealth to whether you have done enough with what you have. So let me tell you, think about the last time you saw a spending decision, a trip, an experience, a gift to someone you love. Ask not only how much it cost, but also what it actually paid back. Most of us skip the second question altogether, and frankly, I didn't ask it often enough myself. We just don't have a framework, which is what the oodles concept fills in. Every spending decision has two payoffs. The first is the financial ROI, which we all know how to calculate to the decimal point. The second is oodles return, which measures how a decision affects your happiness, your relationships, the memories you're building, and your sense of purpose. Here's why the second return is worth tracking. It grows over time and is as complex as a strong investment. We understand compound growth within the portfolio, but we almost never apply the same logic to the experience. Imagine, flying your family to the Portuguese coast costs about $12,000. On paper, the financial return is zero because the money is spent and gone, but the results tell a different story. When you get home, you'll see stories that your family has been repeating for decades, photos on your phone 5 years later that make it impossible to scroll, and a night lost in Lisbon when your adult children take them to Thanksgiving dinner. Everyone laughs. This is not because of disappearances, but because of portfolios. Oodles didn't peak on that trip when you stood there. It will quietly pay dividends for the rest of your life. I really want to hear what you think of it. Long after a trip, a celebration, or even a simple night, it feeds back in meaning and memory. And these stories are more valuable than people usually realize. So share your story in the comments below. Now, let me give you something you can actually use. I call it the oodles scorecard. And it works like this. You rate any major spending decision on 5 dimensions on a scale of 1 to 10. The first dimension is joy, meaning how much instant happiness it will create. The second is memory, whether it will become a story you've been telling for years. The third is connection, whether it brings you closer to important people or deepens existing relationships. The fourth is meaning, whether it fits your values and who you want to be. The fifth is longevity, how long the emotional and spiritual benefits will last in your life. Bronnie Ware, a hospice nurse, wrote about people's end of life regrets and found a match. People she cares about don't want higher returns on their brokerage accounts. They want more moments, more presence, more things that matter to them. That is what Oodles Score really wants. Once you make a decision, there is another question that completes the picture. How much do I pay for each oodle? On the balance sheet, a $250 dinner with your closest friends may look bad, but if it becomes a core memory, if it reinforces a bond, if it becomes a story that has been repeated for years, revenue per dollar may exceed the chart. Compare it to a $20,000 luxury purchase, like a designer product you've been eyeing for months, and it may score low on every dimension except status. Status tarnishes faster than anything you can buy. Now I want to be blunt about what this is and what it is not. This is not exact math, and I will not submit it to any academic journal. It is a mind tool that makes invisibility visible, because so many retirees I sit with can recite their spending rates, withdrawal rates, and post-decimal tax ratings, but they never stop to ask if the money is really being built for the life they want. This is the last piece, which I call the future reflection test. Put yourself in 10 years and ask yourself if you are happy, you've done what you want. If the answer hits you right away and walks away, yes, it is a high decision, and you should allow yourself to lean in. If the answer sounds more like you'll forget it by next Tuesday, it will also tell you something. I think most of us are trained to feel guilty about spending after retirement, as if every dollar we leave our portfolio counts as a small failure. But Kyle Brown told us that some of the best investments we've ever made don't show up on any balance sheet, and that his entire career revolved around maximizing financial returns. I've watched my client deal with this tension for 17 years, and I think he is right. So tell me in the comments if you've ever spent money on things that pay far more for happiness and memory than expected. If the conversation gives you something to think about, click the like button to let me know it has landed. Check out this video of 70-year-olds advising new retirees, where we meet.